Arab Islamic Summit begins today.
Presidency responds to Atiku, says President Tinubu rightfully won the presidency.
Nine kidnapped victims rescued in Katsina.
And on Good Morning Nigeria today, we shall discuss the role of alumni in developing institutions.
I think we have two topics today,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And it's CG's conference as well.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
yes.
all right. All right, education has been described as one of the most expensive ventures in any economy. Most institutions in the public sector depend largely on government for support, and this is never really enough.
Yes, it's never really enough, and associations like alumni play a significant role in the development of these institutions or their alma mater in many ways.
Some of these roles include sharing real-world experiences and insights to help develop relevant curriculum and programs in their alma mater.
They also can help to enhance the university's reputation by becoming entrepreneurs or taking on leadership roles in their industries. Alumni also help current students by sharing their experiences, providing guidance, and connecting them with organizations.
That's true, Jumai. They also help raise funds for their alma mater through their commitment and love for the institution, while also contributing to the university's future by serving on advisory boards and volunteering their time and skills to help the university.
And another area alumni assist institutions is in the provision of strategic recommendations to help the university achieve its vision and mission.
Usman Fodio University has one of such alumni. The school is now 49 and its alumni is making an indelible mark on the institution through awards and dinners to celebrate members who have contributed immensely to the development of their alma mater. We have some of them joining us shortly to speak on the role of alumni in the development of their alma maters. We shall also take a look at the Comptroller General of Customs Conference beginning tomorrow in Abuja. Welcome to Good Morning Nigeria. I am Ademola Adeoye.
And I am Jumai Yusuf. Thanks for joining us on our first episode in the week. And in just a moment, we'll take a look at the newspapers for trending stories. But for now, let's join Comfort Ahmadu for the highlights of the morning news. Hello, Comfort.
Good morning, Jumai and Ademola. Let's look at some of the trending stories now. Now we'll begin with Arab Islamic Summit, which will start on Monday, and the joint Arabic Islamic Summit, which is starting today, like we earlier stated. President Bola Tinubu is in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and is set to begin today, Monday. During the summit, President Tinubu is expected to address ongoing Israel-Palestinian conflict, emphasizing Nigeria's strong call for immediate ceasefire and the urgent need for a peaceful resolution. Nigeria will also advocate renewed efforts to revive the two-state solution as a pathway to lasting peace in the region. The presidency has reacted to a recent comment by PDP's presidential candidate in the 2023 elections, Atiku Abubakar. A statement by Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, says Atiku's economic analysis demonstrates a significant misunderstanding of Nigerians' reality. The statement says while Atiku peddles his peddles his economic fantasies. He's yet to denounce President Tinubu's removal of fuel subsidy because he knows the reform is necessary and correct. Onanuga said Atiku's economic proposal failed to present a viable alternative to Tinubu's decisive reform, saying President Tinubu remains focused on leading Nigeria towards a prosperous future and addressing Nigerians' real challenge. On security, the Nigerian Army's 17th Brigade, Katsina, has rescued 9 kidnapped victims, including 2 nursing mothers from captivity, and handed them over to the state government. The victims, residents of Katsina State, were initially abducted from Sambuat local government area and held for 3 months in the forest around Kaduna State. Now, the transmitter line along Lokoja Gwagwalada has been vandalized. A statement by the Transmission Company of Nigeria says 3 towers along line 1 have been vandalized, with 2 spans of aluminium conductor from the line 1 stolen, thereby disrupting bulk of power transmission along the route. TCN assures that it is still supplying bulk power through line 2, while efforts are underway to source replacement aluminium conductors for the 2 spans stolen from that line 1. Some residents of Calabar Metropolis, the 9th November 2024, will not be forgotten in a hurry, as the rainstorm which occurred that fateful night brought sorrow, rendering some people homeless and also destroyed the aesthetic outlook of parts of the city by uprooting ornamental trees, disrupting movement up till the next day. That's the news for now. Good morning, Nigeria continues with Ademola and Jumai after the break. Stay tuned.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we sway in condos, with undying demand, we make solutions, we ignite passion, yeah. Ethnicity is unique, we are more than just a nation.
We are Nigeria, strengthening unity, we know they carry life. We are Nigeria, together live the dream of a land with great destiny. We are Nigeria.
I am the real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
TerraQ, unwrap joy, unleash taste.
Dry deodorant with 72-hour reliable odor protection from dual effect formula. for a dry and fresh skin feeling that gives you confidence every day. Nivea Dry is now available in 25 ml for 72-hour odor and sweat protection.
In a world hungry for goodness, with a splash of golden Terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile. Make a lunch hour a happy hour. Change no thanks into yes please. Provide care when our nearest and dearest needs it most. And resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty, nourishing family meals is all that matters. The world needs moms, because where there are moms, there is hope, happiness, and love. Golden Terra Oil, for pure love.
No buy am. But why? No see say this big bull bag of rice no get the new big bull holographic seal. Not true.
Introducing the Big Bull Holographic Seal Tape, your favorite authentic Big Bull rice, 50 kg and 25 kg. Now with holographic seal tape. This is to ensure you get the premium product from Big Bull Rice. Do not buy if the holographic seal tape is not on the bag or is broken. Big Bull Rice. Tasty rice nourished you.
Imagine lovely meals you can cook with these ingredients. You spend heavily, but no guarantee of a tasty meal. Not making a right choice of seasoning cube can ruin your meal, money, and confidence. For a tasty meal, do not compromise. Choose Gold.
Use Terra Gold for the rich, consistent taste your loved ones crave for. Good for soups, stews, and jollof. Terra Gold. One cube, endless possibilities.
Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria. It's now time for newspaper review.
Our newspaper reviewer, Chukwudi Okoluwaja, has just joined us. Good morning, Chuks.
Good morning, Jumai. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Hello.
But not too fine.
No, nobody, you can't win all the time. You got to lose sometimes.
Yes, we're mourning.
When you build it into your psyche, you're ever ready to live life.
The NTA family is
But people will tell you a negative confession. No. If you have a headache, you have a headache. Don't tell me you're strong.
We are mourning.
We're not even listening to her.
We are mourning.
Chuks.
One of our colleagues, Jo Osiagu, we lost her over the weekend. She was a presenter on this program, a newscaster and a reporter from Canada, and the whole NTA family is in shock.
I'm sorry you didn't stop the parrot in time. May her soul rest in perfect peace.
It's a shock.
These things will happen when they will happen. May God take care of those she left behind as well. We'll all die someday.
Actually, it was just too sudden, you know.
Yeah.
There's no history of illness. Oh dear.
No, I mean.
I actually thought she was in Canada. And
anyway, let's just go to our newspaper review.
Okay.
Okay. Can you just...
we have some papers to review this morning, and let's quickly go through them because we have two topics to discuss. And let's begin with This Nigeria. This Nigeria at the side piece of the masthead. Fuel. Kano residents dump cars, resort to bicycles, electric bikes. You find the details on page 19. Insistent national grid collapse. Stakeholders lament dwindling business fortunes. With riders call for complete overhaul of power sector. Alleged corruption. Sabotage as bane to stability in electricity. You want to know all about it, you go to page 2. At the side piece of the picture story there, you see NDLEA seizes tons of illicit drugs in 9 states, smashes cross-border drug syndicates, nabbed 6 kingpins. INEC stakeholders unite for peaceful Ondo Guba election. Details on page 20. New terror group. Acting Army Chief Oloyede storms Sokoto. Meets Sultan. Charges troop on the battlefield. And the picture story you see there on duty. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike on inspection tour of the cadastral zone BO3 in Wuye district yesterday. Let's quickly go to the leadership newspaper. The leadership newspaper, and above the masthead, NLC to embark on strike over minimum wage December 1st. Ondo, stay clear of election duties. IGP warns Amotekun. Details on page 9. And below the masthead, high cost. Travelers dump local agents, buy foreign tickets outside Nigeria. Find the details on page 7. Few judges giving judiciary bad name. That's coming from the Chief Justice of Nigeria. You find details also on page 7. And at the side piece of the picture story there, demolition traders sue Lagos, demand 3.4 billion naira damages. Details on page 6. 2 killed in a boundary dispute. You find details on page 16. Stop undermining Tinubu presidency. Stop undermining Tinubu presidency, tells Atiku. You find the details on page 6. And the headlines in the leadership newspaper: wipe out Lukarawa now. Northern leaders tell military. Says terrorists hacking security agents, local vigilantes, and troops pound bandits in Kebbi, Zamfara. You find the details on page 4.
Okay, you're done. Okay, I have the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. Just below the nameplate, Ondo gubernatorial election, IGB bans Amotekun, promises helicopter gunboat patrols. Details on page 5. ACF seeks urgent action to crush new terror group. The details of that story can be found on page 6. And the headline, the major headline reads, Stop Wike Governors. Serap tells Tinubu to stop Wike governors from giving cars, houses to judges. Says such practices clearly antithetical to constitutional principles. Proceeds that such acts of giving undermine independence of judiciary. And Sarah threatens court action to compel Tinubu act should he fail to hearken to their call. Details of that story can be found on page 4. Trump's expected executive order attracts applause. Details of that story can be found on page 7. NLC directs members to proceed on strike over non-implementation of minimum wage. Police arrest 3 officers for alleged murder of Kwara varsity students. Details on page 5. New Chief of Army Staff begs Sokoto communities to help secure state. Details of that story on page 7. Agency promises digital literacy for Nigeria in 2027. NDIC begins sales of landed properties, assets of defunct Heritage Bank. Details on page 20. NSCDC to deploy 6,000 operatives for Ondo gubernatorial election. Chooks.
Demo, quickly, you didn't quite read this, but I find it interesting.
Oh, which one?
Fuel. Kano residents dump cars.
I read it.
Resort to bicycles.
Yeah, I read it.
And electric.
I don't have that here.
I electric bikes.
This
you read
Nigeria,
it.
Yeah.
Very good. This is very good. Just as I was coming, I noticed that a filling station that was selling fuel for 1,150 naira has now dropped to 1,130. Who says if anything goes up in Nigeria, it doesn't come down? Market forces are beginning to set it. In fact, I am on my own fanning the embers of dispute between Dangote and the marketers. Then we'll talk through after at the end of the day over what fuel is going to be cheaper for us. I think it's a fine development.
Well, it's a good development, just that the beginning, the start of is always a tough time.
It's like childbirth.
It's usually a tough
It's
time.
like childbirth.
Do you know what childbirth?
But immediately the baby's head comes out, I am told that the lady pushes out the rest rather easily.
That's
what they told me.
That's what they told you.
Anyhow, a few judges give judiciary a bad name. I don't need to waste time on this. You know who they are. Spew them out. You have sanctions to deal with such judges. Spew them out. Stop engaging in media, bazaar. We're not interested in that. The very important one is the Lukarawa pen. And the good thing is that the people of the north are crying wolf quite early in the day. Remember when Boko Haram came and all that? Somebody was even credited with saying, if you fight Boko Haram, you're fighting the north. It has changed completely. And everybody is now aware that these people are an ill wind that blows no one any good. It's a wonderful enlightenment, awareness, and all that. The security forces now need to get into action. They are sacking vigilantes.
Sacking security.
Sacking security. How dare they? That's what you ask.
Well, that's the way they operate, they hit and run, But I think it is long overdue. The northern leaders, it is long overdue for them to speak out.
No, it's a good thing.
Yes, it's a good thing for them to speak out. But it's not just about speaking out here. It's about educating, encouraging, the people that are there to, against banditry, armed robbery and all that, They need a total reorientation.
And at the national level, state level also, it is also time to give more action.
Yes.
To getting people out of the economic doldrums.
Forget politics for now. Forget politics
because
for now.
I will tell you, I'm not really a sociologist, but I'll tell you that if things were good, not all the people who are invited to the police cell because they took something that didn't belong to them, not all of them will be brigands. Not all of them will be thieves. Yes. So it is also very important that economic empowerment gets there because recruitment matters to these people. They get ready recruits from people who do not have an alternative to life, as it were. So that too has to be handled. It is not a kinetic blah, 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 blah. It is kinetic and non-kinetic.
Like I said, they should put politics aside and work for the people.
Exactly. Put politics aside
politics for now.
And save Nigerian people from things that should not bother them in this century.
Because I understand when the civilian JTF in Maiduguri began, the youths there said, no, we can't keep running away from ragtag Boko Haram people coming to kill. We can't keep running away. We're going to face them head on, and that was actually what saved Maiduguri.
That's just it.
Yes.
If you don't do that out of cowardice, I don't want to die.
People have to wake up.
It continues forever. So people have to stand up and help the security forces be part of the fight.
Yeah, I think the Chief of Army Staff was already on it. So thank you very much, Chuks.
Thank you, my brother.
For your contribution this
morning.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on Good Morning Nigeria. We'll now take a break. Good Morning Nigeria continues. Stay with us.
TerraCube, unwrap joy, unleash taste.
What wakes you up in the morning? Is it the sunrise? Is it the alarm? No. It's your dream that wakes you every day. It's what drives you like a powerful engine. That's why you start strong every day with the rich, creamy taste of Nescafe 3-in-1, carefully crafted from selected coffee beans. You're on your hustle, and you won't stop until you succeed. Start strong finish strong.
In a world hungry for goodness, with a splash of golden Terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile. Make a lunch hour a happy hour. Change no thanks into yes please. Provide care when our nearest and dearest needs it most. And resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty, nourishing family meals is all that matters. The world needs moms, because where there are moms, there is hope, happiness, and love. Golden Terra Oil, or pure love.
The counsel of our fathers.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
The federal government of Nigeria warns vandals of national assets, electricity transmission towers, cables, and other facilities to desist from this act of sabotage. Vandalism is a serious crime punishable under the law. Vandalizing electrical equipments will affect millions of Nigerians, including your loved ones. Remember that national assets belong to all of us, hence the need to protect them. Report all cases of suspicious movement around electrical facilities to security agencies. When you see something, say something. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation in collaboration with the National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC, Office of the National Security Advisor.
Nigeria means a lot to me.
And Nigeria means peaceful cohesion.
My country.
We continue to pray, and then hopefully we will come to understand that unity of purpose, unity of living together.
Our ethnic beliefs and background and culture is our strength.
Ever since the amalgamation period of 1914 to date, about 109 years ago, the people of Nigeria live very peacefully with one another.
I think diversity helps a lot to enhance robust development in Nigeria.
All over the country, you have so many ethnic groups, over 250. That is enough to tell you that this is a blessed country, and God has kept, together as one indivisible entity.
Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. As a prompt for our first conversation on the role of alumni developing their alma maters, here is background report by Ibrahim Gunda.
Alumni associations are important to the growth and development of institutions globally. They play a significant role in the development of their alma mater, and the tradition of alumni coming together to give back to the institution they graduated from is becoming more popular, thereby in the long run contributing with long-term benefit to the development of education. For instance, alumni associations give back to their alma mater through knowledge sharing, support academic research and development initiatives, facilitate mentorship and collaboration by fostering hope where it is needed the most, as well as mobilize alumni resources and expertise for the benefit of the university and the larger society. These are mostly done by forming alumni associations, which underscore how crucial and effective collaboration between all students and their alma mater can stimulate infrastructural development and transition of such ideas to current students, such that later in life they too will become agents of positive change. The role of alumni in the sustenance of their alma mater is expected to be a continuous process that moves from one generation to another. On the program, guests will give an insight on the role of alumni in developing institutions and effective strategy of giving back to one's alma mater.
And joining us in the studio to discuss our first conversation this morning is Dr. Buhari Bello Kware. He's the National President, Usmanu Danfodio University Sokoto Alumni Association. He is also the former head of service Sokoto State and presently Senior Lecturer, Department of History and International Studies. And also joining us here in the studio is Dr. Regina.
You didn't allow him to respond.
Oh, sorry.
You didn't allow him to respond.
I was just flowing. You're welcome to Good Morning Nigeria.
Thank you
Sorry
very
for
much.
the
Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigeria.
Good morning. And we also have Dr. Regina Oma-Agege. She's retired Director INEC, Executive Director Women Education Advisory and Development Initiatives. She's also President of the Global Chapter of UDU's Alumni. You're welcome to Good Morning Nigeria.
Thank you for having me.
At least we have a balance today.
We do.
Yes.
All right. Let me just also welcome our third guest, Barrister Abdurrahman Ahmed Al-Bushra. Al-Bushra, Chairman, Local Organizing Committee and Chairman, Abuja Chapter of UDU's Alumni. All right. You're welcome to Good Morning Nigeria.
Good morning, Nigeria. Thank you for having us here.
All right. So let's just start with Dr. Buhari Bello Kware, who is the national president. Let's look at the role of alumni, what they play in enhancing education development in the country. What role do they play?
Thank you very much. You see, their role begins with the thinking nowadays that government cannot do everything. Government cannot take care of all institutions in the country. And that is what has prompted the thinking that the old students of all institutions should endeavor to come together and assist their mother or their alma mater, at least to improve the infrastructure, because earlier than now, you know, governmental institutions used to have very fine structures and infrastructure, and now I will say they have run into decaying position. And therefore, there is need for the products of the various universities and higher institutions to salvage the situation. And that is what is prompting the emergence of various alumni associations. Okay. In fact, you will observe nowadays, even at primary level, you will see old boys. At secondary level, you see them, and they are doing something very good because they are complementing the efforts of the government and also the university authorities. Like in our own case, since when the association came into being, all our attention has been focused on how to improve the situation. So you will see that we liaise with the university authority to, you know, effect the actualization of certain programs of the university. And nowadays, recently, we are embarking on provision of some infrastructure facilities, like the global branch in collaboration with the national association, National Executive Council of the association are collaborating to provide solar boreholes for the university around the students' hostel area. And there are other projects of vital importance that the association intends to go into with a view to complementing the efforts of government and the university authority.
Thank you so much for your opening comments. We'll get deeper into as we get deeper into the conversation, we'll begin to find out what you are doing, because the alumni, they play a very vital role, you know, in supporting their alma mater. Their contributions is diverse and meaningful, and some of them go out there and sell the universities to other people. And you know, UDUS is one university that we hear a lot about, and it's a far away Sokoto, we say, but the name stands out when you hear, you know, Usman Danfodio University. Let's bring in Dr. Omar Agege into this conversation. The UDUS alumni is trying to bring to the fore issues that affects this university. We've seen other universities around the world who help the alma mater, even in admission, bringing new people into the university, referral, and representing the university well. Now you're going to have, I think, is it a conference or a seminar on UDUS? What has the alumni done so far, as you are the head of the global, you know, chapter of the UDUS alumni? What has the, you know, members of the alumni from the diaspora been able to contribute to the growth and development of UDUS?
Thank you very much. You see, that's, your question is multidimensional.
Yes.
You are indeed asking me to say everything that alumni does by giving back to their alma mater. And I want to tell you confidently and proudly so that it resonates with what we do. And you see, when you define alumni, most people define it at a micro level, whereas it is very macro. It does not just go beyond going back to the university, doing projects. I was in school with you. We were in class together. Today, maybe Providence is smiling on me. I'm not smiling on you. I should remember those good days when we soaked Gary together, and I should come to your rescue.
When you did 001.
Thank you. I should. All these are part of alumni activities.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe one of us is sick. You cannot just allow your fellow classmates to die. You have to come up. You have to rally around. I'll give you an example. Recently, we had a case in the Global where somebody had to do an open heart surgery. The message came suddenly, and suddenly we went into action. We raised the money. The operation was successful, and the person is alive today. It gives us pleasure that we did it. But why did we do it? Because we went to the same university. If we didn't go to the same university, we won't know each other. We won't have any need for each other.
The connection will not be there.
The connection will not be there. So giving back to the university is more than infrastructures you put in place in the university. The meaning is beyond definition. It's very elastic. You want to define alumni activities in so many, many ways. But at the Global, we try as much as possible to balance. Give back to the university, run around our fellow alumni, do all that we can do to promote the name of the university. But what is very important is that anywhere you are, you have to fly the flag. I'll give you an example. You know, I am from Delta, and some people did not understand why I should go to school in Sokoto. Because the thinking was that, okay, there were so many good universities in the South. Why would you go to Sokoto University? Sokoto University is not. And I said, okay, please show me one good university in the South. And somebody mentioned Ibadan. So I made sure that after my first degree, I went to read my master's at Ibadan. When I came back, I asked the person, but I didn't see any difference because I discovered that I had a very good foundation at University of Sokoto. So do you have another story to tell me? He said, you are not telling the truth. I said, but you see, you have to stop profiling. You have to stop profiling. A university, abilities are mixed all over the world. That is why when you do WAEC, the best candidates could come from a school that is not, people don't even look at.
Yeah.
So you see, your alma mater should be your pride. It should be a place you want to grow. It's like your parents' home, where you grew up. You are now opportune. Maybe when you were growing up there was no fridge in the house. You are now grown. You want to buy a fridge for mama and papa to use. That is the relationship. That same relationship you have between yourself and your parents should be the same relationship you should carry to your alma mater, because it's a family. It's a bond that cannot be described, you know? So whether you like it or not, you have to give to your alma mater in terms of your performance, your behavior, and the way you see your alma mater is very important. Because if I go somewhere and misbehave, they ask, where did she even graduate from? So I have disgraced my alma mater. Yes. But if I fly the flag well, I have taken good news back home. I think that's all I'll tell you.
Thank you very much, at least for your opening remark, telling us that it's not a micro, but it's macro. It's large. We should not just box it. You know, it's just, thank you so much. But let's look at other aspects also of the Alumni Association, the role of mentorship. Let me call on the barrister Abdurrahman now. The role of mentorship, I mean, how easy is this? You know, when we talk about mentorship, I mean, give us your experience. How can alumni influence education policy, mentorship program to benefit, you know, the students and also the just recently graduated students of the university?
Well, thank you very much. Good morning once again. If you go into history, when the university was founded in 1975 with first set of 200 students, little did government of Nigeria knew that they were investing in a future that would define what Nigeria should look like. I can tell you for free, in between 1975 and today, statistics show us that Usman Ofodo University has produced over 3,000 lawyers. And most of them are making waves in the judiciary all over the world. That is number one. Number two, as we are growing, you discover that there's a need to relate with each other. The alumni give us that platform. At every function, you meet new intakes, new people who have just graduated into the market. Yeah. And they need to know the terrain. They need to know how to navigate. Now, the National Executive Council of the Alumni set up a mentorship committee. Okay. And this committee has been working, you know, in collaboration with all the state chapters. As soon as you land in your new state, as a COPA, for example, we absorb you into the alumni situation, and then we give you, you know, a kind of platform to find a level growing field. So I think Usman Ofodo University Sokoto had given the federal government of Nigeria a perfect ROI, return on investment. Because look at all sphere of human endeavor, in politics, intelligentsia, in the economy world, in the banking, in academia. Today we have one of the most erudite neurosurgeon making waves in the world. You can keep counting. You know, I think even the product that has graduated from that university had become a kind of, you know, benchmark for its graduates. I want to be better than A, B, C, D, F, G, H. Because
I want to ask, how do you identify your graduates, you know, in the outside world for you to be able to mentor them?
Very good. You see, this is the platform. Now, the university has developed a system.
Yeah.
As you are graduating,
okay,
you are, you know, call into the alumni, and that gives you a kind of a record. You can track our graduates now.
Okay.
And there is this attempt to have a complete database of all the students.
Okay.
Don't forget that some of us, I mean, in this room, for example, there are some people who had left the university from like 40 years.
40 years.
I left the university 37 years ago, 36, and then you can keep looking. So at the point in time, the statistics were not very good. But with development in record keeping today, we're trying as much as possible, working in collaboration with the alumni office in the university, which is a big department now, you know, to keep data of all the graduates in such a way that you can track them. And then now we're thinking through the national office, by virtue of the national president, to work in collaboration with NYSC, so that as soon as our graduates are hitting the town, we could know where to locate them, right from the camp. And that program will kick off next year, by God's grace, with the next level of, next set of corpus going to various states in Nigeria. Okay. So as soon as you're in camp, the branch the branch executive will locate you and then grab you, so that at least you know you are home away from home. I don't think there's any part of Nigeria today that you will find a graduate of Usman Danfodio University. In fact, in my time, I think it is the most detribalized university in Nigeria. People from all walks of life, from all nooks and crannies of Nigeria, are there, including places you don't even believe could live as far back as there to Sokoto. And then look at...
What about those in the diaspora?
That is why we have the global branch.
Okay.
The global branch are in track of, you know, they keep pinching their alumni, so that you have people to relate with. And beautiful as it is, technology has given us edge now. So it's easy to track each other now.
Yeah, it's easy to track each other now. I know she talked about profiling, and I was smiling because when we were in UNIMED, somebody came in from another state in the southeast, and he came to read mass communication. He actually said, it's going to be a walkover. Within 6 months, he was almost, sis, this is tough. I didn't know that it is that tough, you know. So how do you tell people outside Sokoto State that UDUS has a lot to offer? UDUS has a platform that can project you on a trajectory of growth and make you excel in whatever field you want to excel. What kind of message are you sending out to Nigerians and to parents that as alumni of UDUS University, this university is safe, the academic teaching is high, and your child will be able to achieve whatever he intends to achieve? What message are you sending out to Nigerians?
Well, the message I would want to send is, number one, if you had observed what took place yesterday during our dinner, you will have noticed that we have various people of various categories and callings that graduated from the university. And that is significant to show you how they were developed. Now, apart from that, also, you need to understand that Usman Danfodio University has been one of the most peaceful universities in Nigeria. You have not had riots, demonstrations, and what have you. And in fact, the location of the university, in fact, encouraged that to happen because it's far away from the town, and therefore any problem is easily tracked and addressed. But because it is the seat of the caliphate, we have been internalizing the ideals of the caliphate in respect of preaching peace and living in peace with our neighbors. So actually anybody who has the intention of coming to a university where he will enjoy peace, he should choose Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, because actually it is the home of peace. And you will also trust me that the nature of the quality education being imparted in the university is one factor. And you will also note that various departments have been fully accredited, and also we have sufficient lecturers to handle various courses in the university. And that is why you see students trooping to the university to study. It will amaze you if you go to the university to see people coming from all parts of the country, including the extreme southern part of Nigeria, who before were usually fearful of coming to the extreme southern part of the country. So it's because of the atmosphere of tranquility that is still reigning in the university that is attracting people from all walks of life, including people from other countries such as Niger and Chad. You'll find them in Usman Danfodio University presently. So I think those are the factors attracting students to the university.
Okay, thank you very much for giving us the insight into factors attracting students into the university there. Let me come to Dr. Agege. The other time you talked about, people volunteering, to assist, each other, especially the alumni and of the university here and there. Let's look at the issue of volunteerism now. How do you promote it? How do you encourage your members to volunteer, probably in assisting the university in one way or the other? These days there are shortages. We have shortages of teachers, lecturers, and all that. Do you have some of your members offering to probably come in once in a while to lecture? Those who are, those who have probably with the first class or 2-1, we have in some universities, they will volunteer, okay, occasionally we just go and give tutorial to students and all that. How do you encourage volunteerism in your association?
Okay, thank you very much. But before I answer you, I want to answer some of the questions you asked him, okay, especially as it borders on mentoring.
Mentoring, okay.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a pastor. Yeah, okay. And, we say that if you are a good Christian, you don't preach, you don't speak. Your character preaches for you.
Action.
Thank you. Action, they say, speaks louder than voice. Like we had a dinner yesterday, some 2 young girls from the university came and gave some poem. I was amazed when one of the girls said, how do I be like the Regina Omo Ageges? How did she know me? She must have been reading about me, hearing about me. She now sees me as a model. For her, I'm already a mentor because she wants to behave like me. So you see, mentorship goes beyond personal interaction. They mentioned some other people's name, but surprisingly, they did not mention some. Why did they not? They don't want to associate with those people. So you mentor people from your alma mater by putting off good behavior out there, and they want to be like you. There is nobody who does not want to be like a good person, in quotes. Yeah. If, like, I am Urobo, I'm from Delta, but each time I dress, I cover my body, I tie my hair, my people tell me I'm dressing like an Hausa woman. How did this come about? Sokoto influence. I stayed there, and all these are part of mentorship. Mm-hmm. You see, you pick them, and putting the whole together. And then again, when you were talking about somebody coming to Unimeda, you see, people don't have the real definition of what they talk about. There is standardized education all over the country. and particularly give it to Nigeria. We run a curriculum that runs across all universities. So what now makes you feel that because your university is located in a particular place in the country, the curriculum will be different from the one? It's like the standardized WAEC exam, the standardized JSS 3 exam, because the curriculum is one. They don't even know what the policy on education is all about. Now let me come to you about volunteerism. Like in the global chapter, we know ourselves and we are just a family. That if something happens to one, it has happened to all. And perhaps because of some kind of style, every week I ring everybody to find out how they are doing. And if I see you are not very active on the platform, I'll call you, hey, what's happening to you? And from there, I get to know you have a problem, you know? And I won't even mention your name. I'll put it on the platform. We have somebody who is in need. Please, let's try. And in 1 hour, 2 hours, we have sorted out the problem. When it comes to volunteering to go give back to the university, we have not really done that. But I'm sure some people are doing it. But it's a good thing to do. Like, I have it in mind that we should be going to give some trainings, workshops. I have it. I was just telling him yesterday that I have this thing I'm thinking in my mind that we can come together and be giving trainings, workshops. We might have many lecturers who are still analog. We have gone AI already. So we have to put this training together, teach them how to do it, and it will definitely improve the system. Giving back to the alma mater is the nucleus of your life, because this is the institution that trained you. And when you come out, you see, without knowing, you are competing with other universities. You are competing with them in the sense that, let me give you an example. When I went to do my master's in UI, I read special education. And my lecturer came to the class one day and asked if there was anybody here that had not seen the Braille paper. Of course, I hadn't seen Braille paper, so I raised my hands. You know what he said to me? I know you wouldn't have seen it because you are from Sokoto. I was very pained. I was so pained that when I was going back to Sokoto, I made sure I went with enough Braille papers to show to my students so that they don't get same comment from anybody from anywhere. So you see, you without knowing, you are fighting for your alma mater. You do it unconsciously, but you're always fighting for your alma mater. Let nobody underrate me because I come from this, because you have been profiled. There's a lot of profiling going on in Nigeria. This person comes from here, nothing good can. So you have to fight for your alma mater. And in fighting for your alma mater, you are giving back in so many, many ways. So we will make sure that we do trainings. It's not only when somebody is in trouble. Somebody should be able to say, okay, let me go and train these people in so-so area, even if they know it before. Knowledge is never wasted. Power. And learning terminates at death. So as long as we're alive, we'll continue learning.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's bring in Doctor into the conversation again. And Barrister, sorry. So we talked about standardized curriculum across the country, all universities, and things are changing. The education system is changing, evolving around the world. You know, education is now geared towards skills, AI, technology, robotics, and all that. So what is the alumni doing to bring awareness to the students in school that there are some courses that are obsolete? They don't really matter. They can't even pay you. You can't get a job with it. So how do you begin to educate them and encourage them that they need to gear towards a course that will offer skill at the same time and be able to push them further to achieve their dreams. What are you doing as an alumni to raise this awareness?
Thank you very much. You see, luckily for our alumni, in the last 3 sets of the vice chancellors that stand to be corrected, they were all product of Usman Danfodio University, including the most current vice chancellor, Professor Bashir Garba. And because they were part of the system ab initio from beginning, they understand where they are coming from, where they met the university, and where they are taking the university to. So nobody knows the nooks and crannies of your house better than you. So the evolving trend now had started generating some kind of concern that what do you do with this mass production of students that are not going to be relevant to the modern day needs of the world. Now, but luckily for Usman Danfodio University, it has always been, a kind of an institution, permit me to say like an amoeba, it fits all into the space. There is no time that you run into any product of Usman Danfodio University with modesty that you won't be able to take away something different. I think it was the environment, like my president said. I think it is the kind of education we had and are still having in Usman Danfodio University. So better for us to see it from the fact that we are keen into the 21st century educational system. Because at the last dinner, I remember the Vice Chancellor saying that now there's a new policy of putting in a kind of a system where a student has to run a work hour in specific skills. So we are gradually elevating certificates, instead of just certificates. So certification is becoming the trend in the world today. It's not just how you read and write. You must be able to put hands on the barrow and make a product and make something out of it. So the course schedule now is they're trying to systematize it in such a way that you're not just coming to learn A, B, C, D to Z, but using your hand to do certain things, which will now go into your credit system as course system. So, from now on, that is moving with the trend. And when you're talking about volunteerism, my president here was a retired head of service and still went back into the system to lecture. And you have many of them like that. So it is not out of style. But again, just like Dr. Agige said, now all of us don't have to be in Sokoto to volunteer to lecture. We could do it, via the internet today. I can sit in the comfort of my office and educate all the law students and faculty of law on modern trends in the legal field. The doctor there can tell the medical students how to do things. And I think the alumni is gradually working towards connecting with the university on this. And that is why the university deliberately set up a very strong, alumni relations with someone who was a product of Usman Danfodio University, worked all his life in Usman Danfodio University, so he knew the terrain of Usman Danfodio University, and so he can key into the issue of relating, being the connection between the university and the students. So we're not doing badly.
Still talking on certificates.
Yes.
Let's talk about access. Not every child or student in university can have access maybe to a computer, to an iPad, and to be able to do all the things like you said, receive your lectures, via satellites. So what is the alumni doing to give access to the students? Is there any like a computer ICT hub where they can go in and do whatever they want to do?
On Saturday, there was a lecture in the morning, and one young lady walked up to the current vice chancellor and said, "Sir, I think there is a loophole in our system." And vice chancellor was very inquisitive. What is she talking about? And she said, we're not doing anything about our students that have physical disability, because it's time we allow them to key into something practical that will give them leverage, not just their paper certification. And the vice chancellor said, "You know what? I'll set up a committee." He took her number and name and said, "I will drag into that committee." This is something that happened on Saturday morning.
And she's a student?
She was an ex-student. She's a copper.
Okay.
And she's not disabled. She doesn't have any disability, sorry. But her own thinking was that, okay, why can't we do this? And right then, the vice chancellor said, "Please give me your name and telephone number. I'm setting up a committee. Since this is your idea you are muting, we're going to put it on the platform. So that is one novel area. Now, but again, we're talking about access to these facilities. We can't give it all, but we can start sowing a seed. We know that some of our brothers and sisters in diaspora have access to all these things. Oh, the president is here, she's here. This interaction is to learn from each other. So we can look into that aspect too and see how we can collaborate with organizations across the world.
Like Naseni, they are producing
iPads. So we could, that is a beautiful idea, and we'll take it home and look at it and see what we can do with it, so that at least we can encourage, a kind of keying into the 21st century learning process. And we thank you very much for that seed just sown.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister Abdurrahman. Well, let me come back to the national president now. And he said something about certificate, that we should not depend on certificate alone any longer. The ability now should be focused on. And that takes me to the policy of government. So how can alumni association influence education policy, in this country and reform in Nigeria along that line?
Well, that is what we have been doing actually, and what we did yesterday and day before yesterday can be counted as one example of how we can come together, aggregate our views, and champion the views for the consumption of not only government but the larger society. You will see that at a time when there is no interaction, even your family members may not even know what is happening to you or what you intend to do. But the way you are assembling people and hearing their views and prompting them to behave in a kind of way that will be helpful to the growth of the society matters. And you will see that any time there is intention to change policies of government, the stakeholders are always invited. And I do believe all these transformations are happening with the inputs of not only university functionaries, but also voluntary associations like ours, the Alumni Association. And if I can comment about the issue of mentoring that you just spoke about. In fact, just last 2 months, we engaged a consultant to study how entrepreneurial skills will be introduced for the benefit of products of Usman Danfodio University and even students that are still in the school. And I'm sure by the time we finish fine-tuning the strategies to adopt, that will see us requesting students to key into that. And I know that will be helpful. But certainly, any time there is an opening by government to address certain issues, I'm very sure our association will impute its inputs into whatever is being addressed. So I think in respect of that, we are waiting and we are utilizing that opportunity to make government know our views about certain issues, especially that directly affect our students and our present members.
Okay, as the conversation on this topic begins to wind down, nothing is perfect in life, so you must have some challenges. I'm still going to stay so that others can comment on it too. What are the challenges the Odus alumni is facing in the move to implement whatever strategy you have to improve and develop the school further?
Well, problems are like babies. The more you nurse them, the more they grow. So as such, you need to look at the issue of challenges from different angles. If you look at the nature of how the students themselves graduate and disperse, you will understand that when you want to invite them for a meeting is a challenge. Thank God now we are having the advantage of the digital era that is assisting us to have our meetings together. So that may be a challenge. Funding may be a challenge also, because nothing is enough. In fact, if you want to be heard and if you want to be seen, you have to mobilize the resources. Thirdly, we are happy now that our members are always ready, because it will interest you to note that the functions we had 2 days ago were financed by members of the alumni. We did not request for any assistance from people that are outside the association. And members, by virtue of being the members of the association, actually contributed wholeheartedly. And we enjoyed it because we were able to host all the days without any rancor. And luckily, we are not facing challenges from the university, because the university is giving us all the assistance we require. And right now, we are putting heads together with the university to organize activities. In fact, even last month, the alumni was appointed into the ceremonies committee of the university. We are going to conduct 50th anniversary of our university. So you can see the closeness of the university management to the alumni association. So that is reducing some of our challenges.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, let me bring in Dr. Regina now. Well, let's talk about some of the successful projects that the alumni has undertaken. Can you share with us examples of successful community-based projects that your alumni association has undertaken?
Okay. I have a way of always wanting to add to any question asked me. You talked about certificate. Okay, now you know that for any institution to exist, there is a curriculum. In fact, there is a national policy on education from governments, and there is a standard curriculum given to every institution at whatever level. And we also have co-curriculum and extra-curriculum activities. Like a university sited in the riverine area, I mean, naturally, we want to go for fisheries because the natural waters are there. So it's not a big deal when you add these extra curriculum activities to your curriculum, because it helps develop the place. In fact, it helps you better. So I just wanted to say that.
No, I mean, what actually I asked was, how does it influence the education policy in the country?
That is, it influences it by making it robust.
Okay, good.
Because you have brought in something which ab initio was not there. So now you have a curriculum already, a standard curriculum, and now you are in an area where there's abundance of waters. You are saying, okay, let us add fisheries, which will benefit the society. It will benefit the immediate community and benefit the students, even when they go out. Today you are hearing of fish farming, and how did this come about? It's through introduction of fisheries in some polytechnics and some universities. So everything is not spelled out in the curriculum.
Okay.
The curriculum has the leverage to add what is beneficial and legal to their system, at least to produce the kind of individual that government wants us to produce. Now, about projects in the university, there are many. Let me start with the current one. I do know that as a global, we are sinking a borehole, okay, so that we can have more water. And I do know of most of our alumni expanding their departments, like the history department. I do know of some extra building being built. So there are so many physical structures that are being built in the university. A lot is being done. We are thinking of doing more.
The local community where the university is situated, yes, is there any effort by the Alumni Association to encourage, the communities there to get involved? I mean, to help the community, number one, and also to encourage, the youths in the area, for education and all that?
They have always helped them. Even far back as when I was there, they've always helped the local community and encouraged the youth. In fact, even the students do help them. So they've lived very well. They've lived very well together. I can remember most of the youth being engaged by the university students. They pay them, and I remember the university extending projects to the community. That has been done long ago. I left the university in 1985.
That's a long time. That's a long time. I know, Barrister Abdurrahman, you want to add something to it. I saw you, nodding.
Because, we're talking about the influence of the university on immediate community.
Yeah, the immediate
very
community.
Profound.
I remember very well back in my time from 85 to 1990. Yeah. The community access the medical facilities of the university.
They do.
So they don't have to go into town. The university is sited in Dondai, which is like 15 kilometers from town, if I'm right, sir?
Yes.
But
very
again,
close to NTA.
Very close to NTA. But then the community have access to the medical facility of the university then, as far back as then. And then I know very well that the presence of the university in their community gingered some of them to want to be like the students in the community.
So they went to school.
So they started going to school en masse. I'm very sure as of today, the community can count the number of graduates from their community.
How do you measure your impact, in the university and also in the community?
Yes.
The impact of the association.
Now,
how do you measure it?
No, this is it. You can't have it all, but then you can do your best and continue the rest. Now, the university, just like my president said, because of limited resources, chasing so much needs, you have to be strategic in how you input this certain development. The fact access roads in that community built by the university had made, is a farming community. The whole of the area has what we call fadama. So farmers around that area, because of the availability of good road network, have easy access to taking their products to the market without, damages. So even if that is what government has given them, they had taken development very close by virtue of the location of the university around the community. And the lights around, Usman Afford University is a center of excellence in terms of energy studies. Now, as far back as 90s or 2000s, I know solar energies had been, all the street lights there provide electricity for the road, and it extends the whole of the university environment. Okay. There's strategic lights everywhere, which government ordinarily wouldn't have taken there if not for the location of the university. So, and I think all these are value added by interrelationship between the community and the university. And most of the work hands, assistants needed in the university are hired from the immediate community, which empowers them economically too, because they are meaningfully engaged. Okay. So university life had changed tremendously the life of the community and make them more pragmatic, more understanding. I remember very well then, some of the communities in my time even learned to speak other languages apart from Hausa. They pick the English language as a form of communication with those who can speak Hausa. because they interact with them daily, so they pick, and then that drives some of them to go back to school and become like the people they see every day around them. So the impact, in fact, I don't know, God bless the people who thought of starting the university in that location. Because wonderfully well, it did change the narratives.
You want to add to it?
It has not changed right now because it has been a deliberate policy by the university, one, to ensure the engagement of the members of the immediate community in terms of employment, in terms of even contract award. In fact, so many structures in the university are carried out by the indigenous contractors around. And you see, immediately you go to Usman Danfodio University now, you will observe that the youths are blending into the academic community by assisting the students and also picking up various petty trading businesses around, and even being employed in various departments as staffers. I remember even in my department, there is a student who is a butcher. By the influence he has obtained, he quickly enrolled into primary school, secondary school, is now an undergraduate. And what is interesting is he goes to school, and after school, he will carry his bowl of meat and sell to students. He has not left that. And there are others who are also other traditional vocations, and they will go to school. After school, they will engage the students and even the staffers in the sale of their wares.
Okay, let's talk about something that is fundamental, and we need to talk about it. That is exceptional students. Times are hard. Some students can't afford to go to school. Some are even dropping out right now. So what is your alumni doing in the area of scholarship to be able to keep these students in school until they graduate? Barrister, if you can.
Okay. At our dinner yesterday, from nowhere, because of the love of the university, a couple of people came up with profound ideas of taking the bull by the horn. I remember one of our alumni member who is into broadcasting, she offered series of trainings for students in broadcast journalism with promise of equipping them and funding their training, their education. And some other people started throwing challenges as, look, okay, ABCD, FGH students take to fund their education. The grand reunion brought in a new zeal of giving back to the university. My chapter, the FCT chapter, for example, agreed for the next 5 years to give the best graduating female students 200,000 naira every year for the next 5 years. And that is a starter. We're looking into another, that is to throw challenge back to the university. And the good thing about it is that Usman Danfodio University is a very lucky school, I can say it loud. We have not even tapped into 1% of our resources that we have. We have not into the manpower resources we have, the goodwill we have. We have not even taken 1% right now, and we're not doing badly. And we intend to push our luck as far as possible. Because, for example, Usman Danfodio University gave you the Minister of Information. That's just one. We gave you the Minister of Works, that is two. We gave you Attorney General of the Federation, 3. I can keep on counting in the Supreme Court, in Court of Appeal, in High Court, in INEC itself today, just keep talking. And these are people who can hold their fort anywhere in the world.
They are products of your university.
They are all products of Usman Danfodio University.
Now, as we round up this conversation, because of time, we still have the second conversation. I want to ask Dr. Regina Omoagege, do you think the individual institutions are doing enough to foster engagement of alumni association?
That I would say no. because they should do more. She just mentioned just now that somebody said they will give 200,000 to some graduating. We've been doing that. At the Global, we have been sending money to the university for best graduating students in social area. It's just that in Global...
What about those in school who cannot
that's
afford
where,
it?
That's what I want, because I knew that was your question.
Yes.
That was... when Professor Zulu was VC, I did write a letter to him asking him to send us some indigent students who cannot afford to pay their fees so that we could take it up. I haven't gotten a reply to it yet. And that is very critical. It's a very, very give back mechanism. Because you just find these students, they can't even eat. And when you cannot eat, how do you read? So we are looking for such students to catch them and see what we can do for them. It's in our plan. That's in our plan. Training is in our plan. But to me, the alumni, they are not doing much. The alumni association, they are not doing much. Some of them just sit as a gathering of jamboree, especially when there are gatherings, when there are meetings. Work with your university. Work with your alma mater. Because when you were there, somebody was nice to you too.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. We have to round up this conversation now because of the other. We have another conversation. So institutions need to do more to foster the engagement of alumni association. So we want to thank you, Dr. Buhari Bello Kwari, who is national president of the association. Also, Dr. Thank you so much for coming. Dr. Omo Agege Regina, thank you so much. You're the President Global Chapter. And also Barrister Abdurrahman Ahmed Abushra. Abushra. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I apologize for
it's okay.
your name. Chairman FCT Chapter and Local Organizing Committee. Thank you so much for coming on Good Morning Nigeria. We'll take a break now. Our second conversation on the CGC conference, which begins tomorrow, it's coming after. Stay with us.
Nigeria, ready to breathe cleaner air and save money? Let's talk about gas. Drive with CNG, the smart, cost-effective choice. Fill up for less and travel further. Save money, save the planet. Switch to LPG for cooking. It's cleaner, healthier, and better for environment. Say goodbye to smoke and eye problems. Do you know Nigeria is a gas nation ranked 9th globally with over 209 trillion cubic feet of gas reserve? Gas isn't just for cooking and driving. It powers industries too. Cleaner, cheaper, and more efficient. And the best part, conversion centers are popping up everywhere. It's never been easier to switch to gas. Join the cleaner energy revolution. Choose LPG for cooking and CNG for your vehicles. Clean energy for brighter future. This message is brought to you by the Office of the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, supported by the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA.
Hey Eve, come and see the cool sales in here. Everything's on discount.
Yeah, I saw it already. But you know what? I've been thinking we should focus more on making things than just buying stuff.
What? You mean we shouldn't go for these awesome...
No. Hear me out, Nkechi. We are always chasing after new toys, upgrading gadgets, and buying things we don't really need. But what if we use that money to create something special?
Like what?
Anything! Instead of getting another fancy pair of shoes, we could start our own cool business together.
You mean we should become entrepreneurs?
Exactly! We could use our smart thinking to make something awesome for people. We might even make a big difference in our neighborhood.
You know what? You're right. We can learn a lot about money too.
Awesome! Let's be the heroes of our own story. Together, we can make a big change and break free from just buying stuff all the time.
One right action can make a big difference, right?
I think Amaka should just move out of the house. Yes.
No. Standing out of the house is not the right thing to do.
Oh, there you go again with your sentimental family stuff.
Baby, if our aim is to stop this affair, it is best achieved under our roof.
You do something terrible and you'll be acting innocent.
What are you going on about?
Don't ask me that question again. You couldn't even control yourself in the presence of our visitors.
What are you accusing me of, woman?
My son, I don't know how serious you are with my daughter, but there's something that needs to be done urgently before you move any further.
Anything, just anything, just say it. I'm ready to do anything.
There is a spell that needs to be removed.
A spell?
Family forever. The story of our lives.
The counsel of our fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
You have to move from the point where you protect and defend your religion to a point where you also recognize the rights of the other person, of the other religion, and protect it. So if I am protecting my own territory and my own people and trying to emphasize their rights and protect their rights, I should also be thinking about how to protect the rights of the others.
Both Islam and Christianity recognize and defer to God, and both recognize the temporariness of the life of this world, and that ultimately we all go back to God for the day of reckoning, when everybody will render an account of his life on this temporary abode.
You're watching Good Morning Nigeria, and now let's turn our attention to the Comptroller General of Nigeria Customs Service Conference. This is an annual gathering of key players in Nigeria's trade and border management ecosystem.
Yes, you're right. The conference also provides the Nigeria Customs Service with a platform to evaluate operational framework, assess its impact on national economic development, and chart new pathways for enhanced service delivery.
And joining us here in the studio is AGC Suleiman Chiruma. He's Assistant Comptroller General of Customs Strategic Research and Policy, and also Chairman Organizing Committee 2024 GCC's conference.
Also joining us is the Chief Superintendent of Customs, Abdullahi Aliyu Mewada. He's the National Public Relations Officer. Mewada, you are welcome to Good Morning Nigeria.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, let me start with the ACG now. The CGC conference, its annual conference. Tell us about what is the primary goals of this CGC conference, and how does it align with government's economic development plans?
Thank you very much for having us, and good morning, viewers, and good morning all. The Comptroller General's Conference, it's an annual event, and it's something that comes up every end of the year. In most cases, it takes place in different parts of the country so that it will give it a sense of feeling. It leverages on the activities throughout the year, and we take stock of whatever that happens within there. We give analysis of how the procedures are taking place, and we also give accounts to Nigerians on what has happened and what's going to happen in the next coming year.
Indeed, he talked about the economic, contribution to the economy, and the customs office has been having breakthroughs recently, reaching their target and even beyond it. And I'm sure this conference is going to address it. Now, let's bring in CSC Mewada into the conversation as the PRO of the customs. When and where is this conference holding, and when is it going to begin? And what is your focus?
Well, let me give you a background of what happened last year. The CGC's conference was a little bit dormant in the past, about getting to 10 years, because the last time we had the CGC's conference was in around 2011 or so, or 2013. So, and it was resuscitated, 2013. It was resuscitated last year in 2023. And we had in Lagos, where we had a conference that dwelled on leveraging data analytics for effective customs operations. Now, this year, what happened is we draw a kind of strength from International Customs Day theme for this year, which has to do with partnership with traditional and new partners. So we domesticated that theme for this year. And in customs, that is in Nigeria Customs Service, this time around we are looking at the role of partnership, that is engaging traditional and new partners for a purpose. And that purpose is what? One is how do we make sure that our processes are more effective, efficient? How do we relate with our stakeholders? How do we tap on partnership, on stakeholders' engagement to achieve what, if you decide to clap with one hand, you cannot achieve it. So that is the essence of this theme, and this is what we are set to achieve this year. And a lot of partners, both traditional and new partners, are coming up to discuss issues on how to move forward and how to improve the trade ecosystem in Nigeria.
When is it starting and where?
It's starting next tomorrow. That is on Wednesday to Friday, 12 to 15th of November 2024.
Tomorrow is 12.
No, 12 will be arrival. The conference proper will start on 13th, 14 and 15 at Transcorp Hilton Hotel in Abuja.
Okay, let's look at the pressing issues of trade facilitation and administration. How will this conference address it?
Well, first, you talk about the issue of trade facilitation. Now, we are bringing on board partners that we have collaborated to kind of initiate and implement some of the policy of the Comptroller General of Customs in terms of trade facilitation. In the last few years, 1 year or over a year of the leadership of the CGC, we have come up with issues that has to do with trade facilitation. The issue of advance ruling, which has to do with somebody, you have to make it prior to importation of an item, you just make a kind of declaration, and based on that, a value or classification will be given to you. It's a process that we have started. We have the AEO, which is authorized economic operator. It's also a trade facilitation tool, which means you are given a compliant trader upper hand for him to have seamless movement, a VIP treatment in the port, come in, have a kind of a seamless movement of your goods to a destination in the port. Before, we used to have what is called fast track, which is just a quasi form of AEO. But now we have a better platform, which is authorized economic operators. We have also launched, which is in collaboration with the federal government, that is Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. We have the National Trade Facilitation Committee, and there is TRS, that is Time Release Studies, that was launched in Tinkan Island Port. Very soon the report will be unveiled. And the essence of time release studies is a scientific way of knowing now what are the process involved from the beginning of the process of clearance to the end.
Okay.
What are the process, what is the time required for you to import and exit those items from customs. So the studies is scientific, and that scientific study will give you an insight. Where do customs fail in their responsibility? Where do other agencies also fail? Where do stakeholders fail? So across the value chain, based on that, we'll be able to know where are our faults and how to improve and to make things better.
Okay, thank you so much. ACG Chiroma, how is the custom, keen into technology for swift clearance of goods at the point of arrival, because there are a lot of complaints that it takes a long time to clear goods from, from the port to their destination. So how are you keen into technology?
How is customs
yes, to make it easier. Yes,
technology?
yes, I know. How are you keen into technology to be able to do that?
Actually, the Nigeria Customs Service has engaged into an ambitious program of a 20-year start-up program whereby the modernization regime has kicked in, led by trade modernization managers. It's going to provide all the state-of-the-art technology that is needed in modern customs procedures. Okay. We are going to have scanners, we are going to have trackers, we are going to have seamless, paperless environment in our working relations. We are going to have a single window whereby everybody will be on a single platform, such that the importer, the exporter, the stakeholder, everybody will be seeing each other. There will be a handshake, and it's technology driven. Our borders, that is the land borders, are going to be manned from aerial surveillance, and that is using the satellite technology. We are moving into the geospatial intelligence era, and so many things are coming in to make things smooth and easy for customs operations. And that is the technology that is coming very soon into the Nigeria Customs Service, of which we have started. If you follow up on customs matters, you will hear that we have just launched one of our platforms called Bodogu. Bodogu is an indigenous platform developed to enable a seamless and much more efficient system whereby you declare your goods and you clear them easily. Okay. And it has started in a pilot place at a PTML in Lagos, and very soon is going to be extended to all over the Federation. We are also digitizing other agencies like clearing agents, which is called freight forwarding. We are digitizing other stakeholders that are using customs platform, so that they don't need to come to the custom office for anything whatsoever, so that the interface will be fully digitized. And those are the era the Nigeria Customs Service is facing.
Okay, I know, okay, just like the PRO said, the CGC's conference has been off for some time, like a period of 8 years. But I know before then, there have been annual CGC's conference and all over the years for almost 10, 15 years. How has it impacted on the, let me say, on the nation's trade and eco-border system?
Okay, just like he said, it has been in limbo for a certain number of years. Take, for example, the last year that took place. There was a stakeholder engagement, and all arms that have to do with clearance, border management were all there. Problems were brought out, analysis were made, and solutions were proffered. And I will assure you that this time around, you are going to see something different. What we discovered during the last conference has been analyzed, and the Controller General, none other than himself, is coming out to profile what has taken place within this past 1 year. Okay. What has happened from that last annual conference to now, and what measures we have taken to rectify the complaints, the anomalies, the envisaged loopholes, and all that. And he's going to give account to the Federation. And that is the difference between last year and this year. Okay. And this year too, we are going to take stock of whatever anybody has to say, whatever customs have observed, and we are going to implement it after the conference.
Okay, let me bring in CSC Mewada. All these things we're discussing here, I'm sure is going to be part of the conversation at the conference. So who is attending this conference and where are they coming? And one other thing is, what do you expect to see after this conference?
Well,
in the area of implementation of...
Well, to build on what my boss have said is, number one, during the last conference, there's what it was called Continental Declaration. And so many issues, bullet points were identified. And this conference, after the opening ceremony, we are starting first with reviewing some of the promises we have made. Have we achieved those promises or not? So, and the CGC, as stated, will be the one to have a recap of what happened last year and the progress we have achieved from last year to today. One. Two, you made mention of what do we expect to achieve. Now, if you look at the content of the conference, we want to look at, even within us, we want to look within. How do we have coordination among us? If you have a department called FATS, Finance Administration and Technical Services, you have HRD, you have ICT modernization, which was just recently upgraded to a department. So you have those. How do they cooperate, coordinate among themselves to achieve what? Operational effectiveness. Then the kind of stakeholders you are inviting. We have traditional, we have what's called new partners. Traditional partners are those partners we have been relating with for over decades, over a century, let me use this word, before my coming, and after my coming, they will continue to relate with them. So look at the likes of NPA. You know, those are traditional partners that we have to work in tandem together with them. Now the new partners, we realize there are new partners that are coming on board. We need them to move forward. For instance, the SMEDAN. SMEDAN, we realize even the AEO operation, you need to look at the small and medium enterprises to give them that kind of leverage to be able to facilitate their trade. With that, you are also improving in the economy. You look at the people like healthcare. NDLA are substantially traditional partners because drugs was a little bit removed from customs activities. But
you have seen you make arrests. The custom have seen.
Yes, we arrest and hand over to them. Yes. It's from customs. So we arrest and hand over to them. If there are times we make arrests and hand over to NAFDAC, or we arrest and hand over to other agents. Like the likes of Healthcare Foundation of Nigeria, we realize we need to create safe corridors for movement of medicament and so on within, in and outside the country. So there are new partners we have unveiled and we have identified, like the TMP, Trade Modernization Project. There are also now new partners, like the like of GIZ, who give capacity building to officers, the likes of IMF, World Bank Group, and so on. They are giving expertise in terms of collaboration, in terms of training, in terms of capacity building to our officers. So those are the categories. So we want to look at discussion, what have we achieved in engaging with them? What are the problems? Let's just use a kind of a SWOT analysis of our interaction with them. So those are different categories, streams of stakeholders we are going to engage with. We want to hear from them and see how we can improve in the services to Nigeria and Nigerians.
Thank you very much. SCG, now, who are we expecting at this conference?
Okay, starting from Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is going to grace the occasion. We are also going to have the Honorable Minister, Federal Ministry of Finance. We are also going to have Minister of Trade and Investment. We are going to have big personalities coming, like the Director General, World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. We are going to have other personalities like the Secretary General of AFTA, African Continental Free Trade Agreement. We are even having a delegation from Ghana that's coming to grace the occasion. Okay. Other people are like the DG, NEPC, Nigeria Export Commission, and so many other organizations that we have been dealing with. So many other personalities from our stakeholders are engaging with us, like the importers, 11 PLC, that is the oil company, like British American Tobacco, like some of our excise companies that are coming that are paying huge amount of excise duty are also going to be part of it. So that's an array of who are going to attend the conference.
Okay, let's talk about the challenges, you know, you're currently dealing with in your quest to protect trade at the country's border, because we all know how porous our borders are.
Yes, definitely. Well, let me say it, I have said on different forums that our role is to suppress smuggling to the barest minimum. We cannot eliminate or eradicate it completely. Throughout the world, we have to suppress it. Now, in the quest to make sure that we have improved in our anti-smuggling activities, like what you have stated earlier, I was in China for an inspection, factory acceptance test for non-intrusive inspection. One, when we say non-intrusive inspection technology, we talk about scanners. The first set of scanners will be coming. We are hopeful they'll come within this year because they have finished manufacturing. We have done all the radiation tests, the penetration tests, all the tests we need to see by ourselves whether they were okay with that to be imported, to be shipped into Nigeria. So the first set of scanners, we have 6 scanners that will be coming. We have F600 scanner, which is a fixed scanner. We have a mobile scanners that is coming. Then we have air cargo scanners that are also coming. Okay. 4 air cargo scanners. So we have 6 that will come out of 67 that will be provided by New Tech company in China. So we have, and based on that, they have promised that they are going to set up a kind of a company, a place for training and also a maintenance part in Africa, here in Nigeria, here in Abuja, or any other suitable location. They are going to do that because of the quantum of scanners we are bringing in now. So if you have non-intrusive inspection, 1, there will be trade facilitation. 2, things that you cannot detect in your what you call 100% examination will be detected easily, and you facilitate trade. Those are the issues we are doing to see if we can reduce and mitigate the rate of smuggling. Now look at our borders. We are trying to come up with them. It's not always coercive, always force. Sometimes you have to use persuasion. Sometimes you have to communicate effectively. Now the CGC, in his wisdom, we are coming up with a comprehensive CSR policy, which we don't have one before. That CSR policy will give us an avenue to see how we can engage with border communities and see how we can tell them that this is the effect of smuggling. You can follow this route, you can do what is called legitimate trade, and you thrive, not through smuggling. So those are the strategies we are deploying, apart from other avenues to improve in border management.
Yes.
Okay. As he stated earlier, one of the guests that will be coming also is the DG of Border Development Commission. He will also be part of that conference. He knows what the challenges of border communities are facing. And if you don't give them what to do, they will see what we call smuggling as their also resource control.
Okay, Piero, thank you so much. ACG, you are the Customs Strategic Research and Policy. I want to ask you because I've noted that there have been a lot of improvement in your revenue, generation lately. Most of the commands are just breaking, records. Like we just, I think, just lately is surpassed the 1 trillion, target, which is just a record. I mean, it hasn't done that before. That command has never had a 1 trillion before. So how do you intend to ensure sustenance of this kind of records and, compliance in pursuit of this record?
In 30 seconds.
Oh, thank you so much. With the coming of the new CGC, Bashir Adewale Ajeli, MFR, he has come on board with so many programs, and he has his own programs that he's implementing, and most of it are the ones bearing fruit. The PRO has listed some, and those are the ones that make trade easy. It also facilitates a faster thorough flow of cargo. And customs, knowing that we had been given target, we kept our eyes on those targets, and we are working towards it. He's going to give a very big surprise announcement at the conference, and is going to tell the extent to which, how these programs are working. Just like the AEO program we are bringing in, the TRS, time release study he has talked about, we have also done the advanced ruling regime, and all these other programs that are coming. He has just given orders on multiple alerts just recently. He has also talked about the border areas, how congested, how touts are intruding into our jobs at the border areas, how other agencies we can cooperate with them and make sure that there is a seamless operation at the ports. And all these activities culminated in the high revenue yield that we are seeing, as well as the compliance level we are trying to achieve so far.
Who is expected at the conference?
Yes,
I mean, are we
invited?
Media personalities are definitely part of our all partners. There are also new partners in such a way that we are building stronger and deliberate partnership, which is the thematic core of this conference, to engage our traditional and all partners so that we can achieve better together.
I said on a lighter note, the interviewers and you are in black, we are in white. Is it deliberate or intentional?
No, actually, we lost one of our colleagues.
Sorry for that.
So SCG Suleiman Chiroma, Assistant Comptroller General of Customs, Strategic Research and Policy, and Chairman Organizing Committee 2024 CGC's conference. Thank you so much. We wish you all the best at the conference. We thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jumai.
And
thank you, Adela.
CSC Abdullah Aliu Mewada, National Public Relations Officer, Nigeria Customs Service.
Thank you very much, and sorry for the loss, and we extend our condolences to the entire family of NTA.
Thank you so
very much.
Thank you.
And that's Good Morning Nigeria for today. Thanks so much for your time. Join us tomorrow for another interesting topic. I am Juma Yusuf.
And I am Ademola Adire. Do have a fabulous day.